Now we will learn how to solve or find the roots of the quadratic equation from factorization method. Okay, factorization method is basically converting your whole quadratic expression into its factors, right? So these are the three types of quadratic equation which we know. First involves only one term, which is ax square is equal to 0. Now this is already in a factorized form, we don't need to factorize it further. Okay, then second one, ax square plus bx is equal to 0, where our c is not there, and ax square plus c is equal to 0, where our bx is not there. So we need to factorize either of these, and the third form is where my a, b and c all are present, and we need to factorize this. So let us do first our second case. Now let us understand, right? So we have these two types in which only two terms are there. So here if you want to factorize, what you can do, you can take x common from both the terms. So it will be like, right, this is one of the form where we can say that we have factorized our quadratic equation. And if you can take common from a and b also, then also you can take it out. For example, let's say if I have equation like 6x square plus 3x is equal to 0, then from 6 and 3 we can take out 3 common, and of course x will be the common there. So what is left here? This is the factorized form of 6x square plus 3x is equal to 0, right? So if this type of equation comes, what do? You just take x common first, and then if possible take common whatever number is there from a and b, and then write it down. Now here in this type of equation you don't have any x, right? There is only ax square, so you cannot take x common. So what you can do, if there is a common from a and c, then you can take, and if c is in the form of, or you can say if negative number is there, then we will see how to do this. For example, suppose I have x square minus 9 is equal to 0. Here a is equal to 1, but c is equal to minus 9. So this can be factorized further into a plus b and a minus b. So if I write this like ax square minus c is equal to 0, then your equation becomes x square minus c by a is equal to 0. What is this? What I have done, I have divided by a, and then you can write x plus under root c by a and x minus under root c by a. This is of the form a square minus b square, and we can write them as a plus b and a minus b. So if c is negative, we can solve like this. If c is positive, then the only option we have is to take common from a and c. Now the third part and the most important one, right? And we need to solve this in detail, right? Because this only comes for in your board exam or everywhere else, right? So there is a method behind it. Now what we will do here, we have a, b and c, all coefficients are here. What we will do, we will first multiply a and c. Okay, we will multiply a and c with sign. Okay, and then suppose we have got d, another number we have got d. Then what we will do, we will factorize this d. We will factorize this d in such a manner that we get either same a or c, or we can have a different number, suppose m and n. So my condition would be that m multiplied by n should be equal to D. It will be clear when I give you some examples. M into N will give you D, and M plus N will give you B. So we need to find two numbers, which is M and N, from where? From D. D has come from A into C. So we need to find two numbers M and N such that their product, the product multiplication, is equal to D, but their addition is equal to B. So that, so if it happens, what it will be like? It will be A x square plus kind of, we will convert our quadratic equation into this form, M and N form, right? And since M and N are multiples of some factor of A and C, then we have something in common. So we'll see in example how to solve this. But first you need to remember that we need to find two numbers M and N for which the product is D and the addition is B. Now before taking into examples, first we will discuss in details about M and N, nature of M and N. We know that from M multiplied by N, which was A into C, and M plus N will be what? B. These two things we are clear about. Now the condition is here. Suppose M multiplied by N is a negative number. M multiplied by N is a negative number, and M plus N, it is also a negative number. Then what will happen? Let us see. This is the first case. Okay, your M multiplied by N is negative and M plus N is also negative. So from here we can say that one number, one of M or N is what? Negative. Only one can be negative. Why? Because product of a positive and a negative number is a negative number, right? So we know that only one can be negative, either M or N. Now again, if you take M plus N as negative, your answer is negative. It means, see, we know that one is negative and one is positive. So when you add a negative and a positive number, you will always get, it will be a subtraction, it will not be a addition, right? So here, what is happening here? Subtraction. And in subtraction there will be one larger number, one smaller number, and since the answer is in negative, so we can say from here that our larger number is negative, because we take the sign of larger number, right? So from these two conditions, what we have concluded, that one of the number is negative, and that negative number is what? It's my larger number. So if this is the condition, what we can write exactly one thing, that larger number is negative. Correct? Okay, our second case is both are positive. So here you don't need to do anything. M and N can be positive in two ways. Either both are positive or both are negative, right? But see, if both are negative and then we add those numbers, you will always get a negative number. But here the condition is that M plus N is also positive. It means there is only one case, which is both are positive. So from this condition we can conclude that both M and N are positive. You need to keep all these things in your mind, because while calculating M and N, while finding M and N, This will help you to find it quickly. Now the third case, similar to our second case, where this is positive but this is negative. Now positive means what? Either both are positive or both are negative, and answer m plus n we are getting negative. It means from here we can conclude that both m and n are negative, right? So if product is positive but sum is negative, it means both are negative. If product is positive and sum is also positive, it means both are positive. Now let us take our last case, which is product is negative but the sum is positive. Product is negative, we can say one or m or n is negative. One number is negative, one is positive. Now if you add those negative and positive number like m plus n, and you are getting a positive numbers, see what will be happening here? Subtraction, because one number is negative and one number is positive, and if you are getting a positive result, it means the larger number is positive, right? So from here you can conclude that larger number is positive, smaller number is negative, right? So you need to just remember these four things, four cases in your mind while calculating m and n. Okay, let us take our first example, right? I have taken equation as 2x square minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. So what it is here? Our a is 2, b is minus 5 and c is 3, right? So if you just do a multiply by c, you will get 2 multiply by 3, which is 6. So your product, if you write m multiply by n is what? 6, and m plus n is what? Minus 5. Product is positive and the sum is negative. What does this mean? This means that the larger number, we have both number as negative. So you can say both m and n are negative, right? Now let us find out m and n. So m and n we will get from this 6, right? So if you write 6 into factor form, you can have 2 and 3, right? Or you can also have 1 and 6, right? Both combinations are there. You don't have any other combination for 6. Okay, we will see other numbers also. There will be more options. So it is very simple. 2 and 3, 1 and 6, correct? So if I take 2 and 3, and we know that both are negative, right? It means minus 2 and minus 3, and if we add this, we will get minus 5, which is our required number. But if we take this minus 1 and minus 6, because both are negative, we will get minus 7, which is not required here. So this is my required m and n, correct? So let us take this m and n, which is minus 2 and minus 3. So here we can write 2x square minus 2x minus 3x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so now I have written 2 first because it is going well with my first term. So here from here we can take 2x common, it will be x minus 1. From here we will take 3 common. Now the general mistake that students do is, while taking this as common, you don't consider the sign here. Okay, this c plus has become minus. Why? Because I have taken minus 3 common. Okay, this is a common mistake I have seen in a lot of students, so please avoid this. Now if you take x minus 1 as common, you will get 2x minus 3. So this is my factor form, and if you just equate it to 0, you will get x is equal to 1 from this equation and x is equal to 3 by 2 from this equation. So we have got two numbers. Okay, let us solve our next example. I have taken as 8x square minus 22x minus 21. So our a is 8, b is minus 22 and c is minus 21. So what was our first step? First step was a multiplied by c. In this case it will be 8 multiplied by minus 21, right? And then we need to find two numbers, so that if you multiply those two numbers, we will get this 8 into minus 21. Okay, let us write this minus 168. So what we need m multiplied by n, so that we can have minus 168, and m plus n, so that we can have this b, which is minus 22, right? So to get the number m and n, what we will do here first, we will just break these numbers into smaller ones, right? Let us say 2, 4, 3, 7. Right now I am not writing sign here. We will check how to write the sign. First I am taking this number 2, 4, 3 and 7. Now can we get 22 by combining these four numbers in a different manner? Suppose if we take this 2 and 3, it will give me 6, and 4 and 7, which will give me 28. 28 minus 6, we can get 22, right? So you need to try different possible combinations, right? Here we can get, I have got it in one way, in one chance only, because of only experience, nothing else. So if you do lots of practice, you will also get the same result in one chance only. So we need to think now here. See, m multiply by n. So we know that we have got two numbers, 28 and 6. Now the answer is, if you multiply these two, you will get a negative number. It means what? One number should be negative and one number should be positive. So either we can have minus 28 and plus 6, or you can have 28 and minus 6. Correct? Now if you add these two numbers, m plus n, what do you want? You want minus 22. So if you add these 28 and minus 6, from here you will get 22, but we need a negative 22. So we will have to use this number, minus 28 and plus 6. So from here only you can find out that our larger number should have a negative sign. To get a negative result, we need a larger number to be negative. So we have got our two numbers, 28 and 6, and more precisely we will have minus 28 and plus 6. So we can break into this 8x square minus 28x plus 6x minus 21 is equal to 0. Correct? So now we can take 4x common from here. It will be 2x minus 7, and 3 common from here. It will be 2x minus 7. If you split it correctly, then you don't need to think about the second term here. Okay, you will automatically get the same thing. So it will be 2x minus 7 and 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. From here what we can find? We can find that x is equal to 7 by 2 from this equation, and from this equation we will get x is equal to minus 3 by 4. So 2 answers we are getting here. Now let us take our third example, and here I have included a square root number which is 2 root 2. So my a is 1, b is 2 root 2 and c is minus 6, correct? Now since we know that this m and n, basically we are splitting this b into m and n, right? M plus n will give you what? B, and we have root 2 here, so definitely m will also include root 2 and n will also include root 2. Let's say it will be p root 2 plus q root 2, right? And if you multiply this root 2 and root 2 will give you what? 2, and p and q will be multiplied. So we will get this kind of structure here, right? We will keep this in mind while factoring your a and c. So your a and c is what? If you multiply a and c, you will get minus 6, right? And here, so m into n is minus 6, m plus n is 2 root 2. Product is negative, but the sum is positive. It means your one number is negative and the larger number is positive, right? So from here we can say that larger number is positive. Okay, now let us find out how will we get p into q into 2. So this m into n will give you minus 6, or you can write p into q multiplied by 2 will give you minus 6. From here p into q will be what? Minus 3. Now we need to just factorize 3, which we can do like 1 and 3. So one number is 1 and one number is 3, and we know that larger number is positive, so we can say that plus 3 and minus 1. So let us take 1 as p as plus 3 and q as minus 1. So we will get 3 root 2 and minus 1 root 2. This will give me 2 root 2, which we wanted, right? So this way we can solve the square root problem. So now let us do it in the process. We know that we can now x square plus 3 root 2x minus root 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. From here we have got x common, so x plus 3 root 2, right? Now what to take common from here, because here root 2 is there and 6 is there, so lots of students find it difficult. So the idea is, what you do, you just write this number here, x plus 3 root 2. In the bracket just write this term, x plus 3 root 2, and just check the first number. X is there, so what should be coming here? Minus root 2. It will automatically come clearly. So minus root 2, if you multiply it by 3 root 2, you will get minus 6 only. So here x plus 3 root 2 is common, and x minus root 2 is the other factor, which is right. So from here you can get x is equal to minus 3 root 2 or x is equal to root 2. Now let us take another example involving the square root numbers. Okay, here the square roots are in a and c. So a is my root 3, b is 10, c is 7 root 3. So if you multiply a and c, you will get 7 root 3 multiply by root 3 will give you 21. So your m multiplied by n is 21 and m plus n is 10. Both are positive. It means both the numbers m and n are positive, and m and n doesn't have square root in them. Why? Because if you add m plus n, this you are getting 10 here. So there is no square root in m and n. So if you factorize 21, you can get 3 and 7, and if you simply to add 7 and 3, you will get 10. So there is no surprise here. The only thing will be taking common. Just write 3x plus 7x plus. I have not written it 7x plus 3x. I have written 3x plus 7x because I can take 7 common from here, and here also 3 is coming. So if you take these two terms first, right, you can take plus 7 common and you will get x plus root 3, right? So because some students don't know how to factorize this thing, and because basically we forget that 3 can be written as root 3 into root 3, right? But for some students it is difficult to understand that part. So what we have done, 7 I have taken here, it will be x plus root 3. So x plus root 3 will be there, right? And now we will take the first term here. So the only left thing is root 3x. If you multiply this, you will get 3x. So x plus root 3 is common, and root 3x plus 7 is the other factor. From here you can get x is equal to minus root 3, and from here you will get x is equal to minus 7.